I've been going to screenings now for the past 5 years plus now, and they do things kind of interesting at them. Everything from giving us about a year's worth or more in advance screenings of a full movie, where they change a few things, in certain places there, make things tighter with the editing, clean up some of the imagery, CG adding, things like that from the movie. But you get the full experience of the movie a year out, maybe even like a month out. A week out, that's kind of common too. A week before a movie comes out there, but then you get something like a day or two before it comes out, like on a Wednesday or a Thursday. That means the movie's not really that good. But sometimes, the movie is protected and they don't want to do a screening or have to do a screening for a movie that's going to be super popular, like Spider Man. A couple months ago, when the Eternals was, coming out, there was a screener or two for the press, and they had a screening for like a month before it came out. And in that particular screening, which was in New York City where I live at, the screening did not have the post credit scenes that had, uh, that other blonde guy, Harry something, and the final credit scene with the dark blade, ebony blade, whatever you call it. They didn't have that. It just and the movie ended and it went to black and that was it. But then later on, a couple weeks later, there was a fan event where they had the full thing. This is of course before the movie came out, so like maybe like the fan event was like maybe like 4 days before it came out, and the celebrities were there and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. So that's where I got the Eternals posted, which I didn't put on my wall yet. Okay, so I think I'll cross up one character on there if you know what I mean. But it's not unexpected, especially for Marvel movies, for them to cut out the post credit scene. And if there were to be a Venom 3, which I think there will be because of how stupid money it made, um, the post credit scene will be cut out of that movie too, because the best part of the Venom movies are the post credit scenes. So with Spider-Man Homecoming was overall a good movie with Michael Keaton as the Vulture, and then we have the Spider-Man with Spider-Man Far From Home with Mysterio. That was really, really good too. Overall, the movies were good for what they were. As many holes you want to poke at them, but they're generally fun when you first saw them for the first time. And the way this one is with the super duper ultra mega gigantic hype that this one has. This one has way more hype behind it than the other ones combined. Homecoming was hype like because Iron Man was in it, not because Michael Keaton, aka Ben, was in. No. Iron Man was in the movie and was a little bit taking place after the events of Civil War. So that was the big hype about that movie. It was continuing from the big movies that you knew about, which is a good connection. Far From Home was more or less its own thing, but then we were a big fan of the other movie, so we wanted to see how that went. But it didn't have a lot of hype behind it because there was nothing really like buzzworthy about it. But in this one, holy shit. Not only is Doctor Strange super popular right now when it comes to the MCU, the whole multiverse thing is coming into play, and we already saw Doc Ock from Spider Man 2 in there. So, how many other characters will be in the movie? It's a really, really super ultra. You know what? I'm not going to do the buzzwords. The hype for this movie couldn't be any higher. Let's be real. It couldn't be any higher. The only way it could have more hype is if Chris Evans came back in this movie as Captain America for some reason, even though he's not supposed to be that way when it comes to the movies and stuff like that. If that multiverse brings in Chris Evans, Steve Rogers in the movie, that'll be like, holy mother balls. They can do it now. Or Tony Stark, aka RDJ, makes an appearance in this thing, and he's coming back as Iron Man because they got another RDJ from another universe, and now he's Iron Man again. That's the only thing I can think of that could be more hype for this movie. But seeing Doctor Strange in there, twist the world of Peter Parker around and bring in 2-decade-old movies into this movie. Um, how, why, what's going on, what's what are they gonna say to each other, that kind of stuff. So the hype for this movie is freaking. I don't know about Endgame big, but it's pretty freaking big. Maybe like Civil War, because like seeing the Avengers clash, like that kind of thing, it's like that. Seeing the entities of the positive people of the Civil War go against each other, like how, why, what's going on there. This kind of thing's pretty huge too. With Doctor Strange opening up a portal and having other entities come in there from multiverses and stuff like that, which you saw a glimpse of in What If. The possibilities are actually endless now. So I'm sure Sony/Disney knows all about that. So they are only allowing press to see 40 minutes of the movie, which is not even half of the movie. So 40 that's like a that's essentially like 40 minutes. I'm not saying like you can't show hype stuff in 40 minutes, because we all know TV shows. The reason why TV shows that are 40 minutes can be really hype is because they're set up to be a certain way to hype you up throughout certain moments of the show before a commercial break. 40 minutes in a movie is not really showing you a lot, because it's the setup point to something bigger. In a 40-minute episode, like what if, whatever, what if was like 30 minutes each, right? But there were so many little things in there to intrigue you throughout the entirety of that 30 minutes. So a 40-minute movie, if you think about the beginning of Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home, the beginning of those movies was like, it was light, it was fun, but didn't really have a lot of hype moments in there. I think Far From Home got to the point a little bit quicker, and Homecoming maybe that way too. But a majority of the movie, the first part of the movie, was more or less about having fun, and then it got real around the midway point, and then the conclusion at the end, of course. So when it comes to these kind of movies, this goes for like most of these MCU movies. There, it's more or less fun in the beginning, and getting chaotic around the halfway points when things get real. So they're not going to see that much in the picture. What I would anticipate in these 40 minutes, I would anticipate that in the beginning of the picture, it's going to continue off from where Far From Home left us with, Peter Parker being outed as Spider-Man, and the world's coming against him, and he's trying to figure out a way to get around this. Like there has to be a reason why he's visiting Doctor Strange, because it's affecting his lifestyle and the people that he likes. So I think the first part of the movie will be like him trying to find Doctor Strange, because I don't think he's on speed dial. You know what I mean. So will Doctor Strange find him? I don't know about that. So I don't know. I don't like. I'm not saying I don't know. I doubt it, but like it could happen. Like Doctor Strange could have like a crystal ball type thing or a portal, and he sees Peter Parker in trouble because he does know Peter, and then get him and then take him to his universe, his dimension per se, not a universe but dimension. He could take Peter Parker into his dimension, and that could be like, can I help you out there? And then Peter tells him about the troubles. So it could be that one. I don't think it's. I think it's easier for him to find Peter than for Peter to find him. Like if Peter Parker just finds Doctor Strange, that'll be kind of weird. Just like in the middle of the street or something like that there, and happens to find the Sanctorum. I'm not sure he can do that. He's not mystic in any way, nor has he ever has been, unless it's a comic book thing and he's like, oh god, the powers, But I think it's going to be struggling with the fact that his life is turned upside down. And then when Doctor Strange starts to bring in other, dimensions and things like that, and messes up the plans, that's when I think the movie's going to go off, because the movie should be getting real around the time that Spider-Man or Peter Parker realize that there's other Spider-Man, other villains out there to confront, and then that's before it happens. That's when the movie's going to go off for the 40 minutes for the press. I saw a screening for the movie on my site, but it takes place at the very date you see here, the same day. So people are going to get in for free with the celebrities and stuff like that, but it'll be that day. I have seen screenings for Spider-Man movies several days before it comes out there, like either like that Wednesday or that Tuesday before it comes out, in a very, very small, limited capacity. But I found my way in like I always do. But it does happen for this movie. So it could happen for this one, and I'll know for sure like that week it's supposed to come out. So like we'll get fan stuff there, and if it is fan stuff, it may have the full shebang. If it's a fan event there, they usually don't cut things out for fans. So I'll let you guys know when I can. That's for now. Plaque off.